Presidential candidate Ng Kok Song says he has taken extra precautions on the last day of campaigning. This after he was subjected to verbal abuse by a man on a bicycle at Clementi last night.
I'm getting my campaign team to have more people who can be in charge of security, So I've been very well protected by some of my security personnel. And I'm also concerned that they should also stand where the public are to protect the public against any intrusion.
Mr. Ng was speaking to the media during his visit to Hougang Hainanese food village. He says this place was chosen for his walkabout as it's where he grew up. Mr. Ng also visited a monastery where he exchanged views about his vision of what a unified Singapore society is like. If elected, he says he hopes to bring together people from different religions, share the fruits of economic success with the less privileged, and for people to live in harmony.
Foreigners are welcome, and they should be welcome. But it's very important that citizens must come first. Because only when the citizens come first can the united society we want to see be sustained.
Mr. Ng ended his campaign in the evening at Kopitiam Square in Sengkang. He expresses how he has no regrets during the campaign period and is happy having done his best. Well, you may have heard earlier in his presidential candidate broadcast message, Mr. Kin Lian saying he wants to uphold family values as it is the cornerstone of any society. He gave a similar message while out campaigning today, encouraging young people to marry early if they can afford to do so. Still, he acknowledges the challenges they face with the cost of living and job security. He says these are key concerns he will address if he's elected.
I want to promote family value also because I'm told that members of the Christian and the Muslim community are also concerned that family values have been eroded in recent years. So this is quite important to emphasize, and I want to emphasize them on their behalf.
Speaking to media at Hougang MRT, Mr. Tan says he's confident about his chances, following feedback that he did well on CNA's presidential forum on Monday. He also explains that he had to cancel an online rally scheduled for today because of what he calls, quote, a conflict of priorities. These include getting approval for his counting agents and getting his posters ready. Mr. Tan also reiterated his apology to those offended by his earlier posts on social media. This despite standing by the comments initially.
I'm advised that it's better to apologize rather than to point out that this is a small group, so I take that advice.
Presidential candidate Tharman Shanmugaratnam says that he hopes that presidential election 2023 will be remembered by voters as one that was contested and having a multiracial slate. He adds that Singapore is rising above race progressively year by year.
I'd like it to be remembered as a contest where people actually do look at individual track records and life histories. Even though there's a lot of political noise, I think Singaporeans are quite calm and sensible about it.
Mr. Tharman was speaking to media on the sidelines of a dialogue session with athletes on the final day of campaigning. Mr. Tharman ended the day's walkabout by visiting residents and hawkers at Marine Parade Central Market and Food Centre in the evening.